Hey everybody! Guess what? We're doing a show. Kathy, Biehl, and I are here to help you through the. I think I almost want to call this a WTF edition of life in these United States. This morning I realized that full moon lunar eclipse day is less than 24 hours away because it's like 12 hours away or more.
It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow in the wee hours of the morning. And I did see the Weather Channel had it mapped out like where you could see it at what time, and here it would be 6 a.m. right around then. But I think we're gonna have snow tomorrow, so it'll be overcast. We won't see it. Probably where you are too.
I'm not even going to venture out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be overcast. So, yeah, Barb was saying, hi, Annette and Kathy, we sure need your insight. I must have picked up on it. Need insight. The viewers need insight. So here we are, ready to serve. So welcome. Kathy, what's the first thing that popped into your mind when all this chaos erupted on, I guess it was Sunday morning by the time we knew?
It's Mars in action. Mars made a couple of really important contacts this weekend. Mars rules the military, attacks, men, aggression.
Men, right?
But they're not manly men.
Sure.
Anyway, so here, Mars did two important things this weekend, and it's doing something else today that's going to add another flavor to it. So Mars on Friday completed a challenging aspect to Uranus, which is the planet of volatility, unpredictable change. Mars in Aquarius, technology, networks, people. I thought maybe there'd be some kind of system outage. And Uranus in the sign of money and resources and land. So that was setting off. And it also is very active in the United States July 4th chart. So I'm not surprised that someone took military action on behalf or in the name of the U.S. at that time. But here's the second thing it did. So the next day, it activated the degree of the February 17th solar eclipse. Mm-hmm. So it was like a double whammy, bam, bam. And then today, it's changing signs. It has moved from Aquarius into Pisces, which is a really tricky place for it. Here are some possibilities. One is sacrifice. Well,
yeah, we got that.
We got that going. One is spiritually guided action for the greater good, indirect action, subterfuge, backhanded. Mm-hmm. When you take really forceful action with Mars and Pisces, it tends to have backwash. It tends to come at you. Oh. Think of when you were a kid playing in the water with your pals and you get into these splashing wars, it would come back at you. You push water around and it comes back at you. So that's a big piece of all this. There are a number of other things going on, but that explains the timing of all this. Then we've got the solar eclipse has the king must die vibe to it. So it makes sense that there are leaders, and I'm going to say leaders plural, being taken out, not necessarily taken off planet, but just being removed from their position.
Oh, yeah.
By things going on right now.
Yeah.
And this all happened also in what I call the eclipse gauntlet or eclipse corridor, which is the 2-week period between eclipses. So we have the lunar eclipse in Virgo tomorrow, and it has boundaries and delineations and drawing lines and borders as a huge theme. And I meant to look this up. I got distracted and was actually doing work. This eclipse is a coming full circle from March of 2007.
Oh, wow.
So it could be interesting. And I didn't have the time uh, to look up what was going on at that point. But there's a chapters coming to an end vibe to this eclipse.
Well, George W. was he was wrapping up his term, wasn't he?
Yeah,
2007. Yeah, because Obama got in 2008, so that was a massive. The wars still went on that he started, but that was a massive shift. Yeah. Someone's saying 2007, the rise of Obama. So that was really major changes were in the air then. So for the good, right? Why do you think?
Yeah, well, okay, all of this is just part of a process, all right?
Okay.
I mean, and we should, yes, freak out. Yes, this is not good. But here's some things that are probable that will be playing out very soon. A lunar eclipse has a strong streak of revelations, of shining the light into the corners and stuff coming out that has been hiding, sometimes hiding in plain sight. And Virgo is a sign of health. So that's one area where somebody could be leaking information. There are a lot of other areas where massive leaks could be coming. And you'll notice that that Iran's response has not been to blast all of our warships out of the water, but to disrupt billionaires' lives. They're going after the airport in Abu Dhabi, and they've been blowing up hotels in Dubai, which is where the ultra wealthy hang out. So they're getting at the money sources. That's Uranus and Taurus. And going about it indirectly, that's the Mars in Pisces part, although they started this earlier. So that's one big thing we'll be seeing. So big revelations, indirect, backhanded ways of going about things. Oh, by the way, we now have friendly fire. Kuwaiti missile defense system took out 3, count them 3, American fighter jets. Oh, goody. But here is the really important piece that's happening when we get just past the eclipse. And that's the planet Venus, which rules our social interaction, our social vibe, what we value, moves into warrior goddess mode. And that is on, hold on, I should know this, but I don't want to say it wrong. So my notes. That's on the 6th. So that's Friday.
Yeah.
And right after she does that, in the first few days, she meets with the 2 outer planets that had their once in our lifetime, once in recorded history conjunction at the very beginning of the Zodiac on February 20th, Saturn and Neptune. Well, she meets them in reverse order, Neptune and then Saturn. And those 2 I have called, because of them, I'm saying we're seeing the rise of spiritual warriors. And Venus meeting up with them is going to ignite fires in the populace in general, in women, and some kind of desire to go after things, to not just sit and go, oh, I am powerless, to feel like you have actually a calling. So everybody's getting into Xena Warrior Princess mode, whatever it means for you. Use your own, whatever archetype or inspirational image works for you. But all over the planet, people are going to say, no, we are not taking this. Not taking it.
Feeling it for sure. I just want to mention something that I mentioned this morning on my Off the Ledge. And what you're saying actually makes sense as to why I feel kind of like charged up about this is like when people report and comments. It wasn't my video. I saw it in somebody else's video. Somebody said, "I'm tired," and it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I commented on that this morning. It wasn't personal. I don't even know who this person was. It wasn't even on my channel. But I think what you're saying is what makes it feel so off to me, because warrior, spiritual warrior, Xena warrior princess energy is like, yeah, you just go. You just keep going. You go.
But
like
that's coming. People are entitled to be overwhelmed. They're entitled to collapse.
We're entitled. I get, hang on, because I got to talk about this.
Yeah.
It triggers a little bit of, we cannot be tired right now.
Well, but we have a moment of regrouping with the eclipse.
Yeah, that's different.
We draw lines, figure out what in your life is a drain and get rid of it.
I always advocate for self-care, taking breaks, taking a rest. And I think it was just my psychic feeling was like, I'm getting agitated, because we all are, because of what we're up against. And so I'm tired, and I'm going to just keep plowing away. I'll take breaks and I'm going to keep plowing away. Feels less like resignation. I'll stay I'm tired because I've worked my ass off. Like Kamala Harris would say, we'll work hard. We like hard work, And I think she said something about that too, about, we just keep going. Of course, self-care is totally in order. How do you keep going if you don't recharge your battery? So let's just be in the spirit of not resignation, but okay. Like I think in my personal chart I might have is it Eris? I mean, I've been told I have that really highly pronounced in my chart. So that's what I get so feisty. The goddess is rising and she's pissed. You just put that in?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we're all tired. That's really true. This is exhausting. The last 10 years of our lives have been spent, I mean, for me, doing this. And getting really not much back monetarily, that's for sure. So, yeah, sorry, I just had to bring that up. Because you're talking about warrior energy, and that is what we're in. And that's the only thing that's going to get us out of this. No matter how we're feeling, we have to plow through this. So, I'm concerned. I'm watching Keg's Breath up there. Did you hear anything of what he said? It's hard to stomach it, but
yeah, I can't. Okay,
so what he's doing is he's being really bombastic, and just so like, we're going to get you, and how dare you say you bet death to America. They've been saying death to America since George W. Speaking of him, we're going to come and get you, and you're going to be sorry. And it's like this bombastic, agitating, poke the already angry bear. This is really, it's bad enough. They're acting like Iran attacked us. Does this remind you of anything? I mean, what was going on back in 2002? Are we having a repeat of that? Oh, they were about to attack us, I thought they got all the nuclear facilities, what was it, last summer, they said?
Supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We can't be acting like bullies like that to the rest of the world. And it looks to me like Trump is Putin number 2.
Well, consider the possibility that the U.S. has pretty much always been a bully, and now it's just blatant and self-defeating. I know people can get mad when I'm saying that. Yeah, blatant and self-defeating. But do you want? So there's a lot of stuff going on in Hegseth's chart. Both of these 2 eclipses are highly active on him, and when Mars went over the eclipse degree, it set something off in him, and I'm gonna carefully say that although Hegseth's chart is very different than the guy at the so-called top.
Oh, really?
They do have, it's almost like there is a sexual experience they go through from this aggression. And I think that's, so he's on some kind of, he's got a massive heart on, I guess is one way to say it.
I've said that. I totally have noticed that. It's like they get a rush.
But exceptionally strong right now. However, the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is right on top of Hegseth's Mars.
Get out.
And so his Mars, and it's really close to the tent pole of his existence. It's at the very bottom of his chart, using the solar chart because I don't have a birth time for him. But the house placements aside, the fact that there's this lunar eclipse on his Mars means this is ending a chapter in his role as the head of the military. This is wrapping up something in his role, his ability to be a man, in how he uses his aggression. And here's what's weird. He's talk and not action. If you threw him in the middle of battle, he wouldn't be in the middle of battle. He likes to talk a really big game.
Yeah, that's obvious, right? People are mentioning that your picture is frozen, but we can still hear you. There you are. You just unfroze yourself, just like that.
Now, I was looking at something on my screen.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was looking at his chart. I'm sorry, folks.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's not a glitch in the system.
No, it's not a glitch in the system. It's no, it's because I was looking at his chart.
Do you think that Keg's breath, I can't call him by his real name. Do you think that he might be insecure about his sexual preferences?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't plan to ask you that. It just what you said was like remind me of the makeup room we had built into the Pentagon. It's like, yeah, that bravado, man. He's just always. Do you ever see Colin Jost's impression on SNL?
No.
Oh, it's freaking hilarious. I have to send you that. It's so funny. What about what do you see for the planet? Are we gonna make it through this?
Yeah, but people should be braced. There will be a concentration of planets in Aries in the beginning of April. So something may come to a head in a big way then. I do think it's important to keep your eye on the way Iran is playing this. And I'll go back to how I painted it. The fact that they're going after targets that are going to cost a lot of very wealthy people a lot of money. And that I think is going to change the game. I think that's going to change how it plays out. And if somehow the UK has now said the US can get, they can fly planes out of UK bases. I don't know what happened to make that come into being, but
I missed that.
I don't think, that happened today. It's this.
So much going on that we can't really see.
Well, I think there has been, and I don't think anyone will argue with me, there has been an air of unreality for about a year and a half. Like this, where there's what passes for reality and there's what's really going on. And so it's for what passes for reality could have a lot of bluster, a lot of bombs going off, a lot of things that maybe don't have clear motives or a single motive. I think that every news show has been given a different reason for why we're in Iran. Like none of the reasons have anything to do with what we need.
That is definitely true. You know what? We did a show maybe a couple months ago when you mentioned this lineup of every, it seemed like all the planets being in Aries.
Moving together, yeah.
Yeah, when you said it, I did like a double take in my head. It's like, it really blew my mind because all I could see that meaning was war.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it? Like, did you feel like that we'd
Oh,
be?
yeah. Oh, unfortunately, yeah. And it pulls in NATO. So there'll be something. But I honestly don't think this is long-term worldwide war
Me neither.
by any means.
Yeah. How do you think? Do you have any sense of? Because when I've read on it, I got we would strike. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but we would strike, and it would be a short period of time. But maybe we said that about the Iraq.
Yeah, well, this too. My sense is that this is going to force a lot of information out that we have all been seeing coming out, and it's going to come. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just looking at stuff in the chat. I think that this is actually going to hasten a lot of crap coming out, and this particular War Department is in way over its head. They have not.
This is so stupid. They're just so stupid.
Well, they fired everybody with experience and vision.
Breathtakingly stupid. Plus, you know what they're calling this, right?
Epic fury.
Which is just like you might as well just say Epstein fury. They couldn't have picked a better name. Like that wasn't so.
That's wonderful. I hadn't made that connection.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Uh-huh. Well, I have seen a photo of the Situation Room, and in it there was a big chart that actually disclosed a whole bunch of our assets, and Susie Wiles is wearing an Apple Watch, which connects. It's like not secure.
Right.
And on the one hand, this is like the Signal chat, just spilling stuff and giving secrets over Venmo and all. But maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. And I'm going to credit Louise Eddington for this one, because she said in chat to me, it's like they're trying to take the US down. Like maybe they're not just so reckless that they put classified information on a wall and took a photo of it and shared it. Maybe it's intentional.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but have you thought that all along, that they're doing it intentionally? I guess my take has always been, like, I always cite this headline. I wrote a Substack article, and I have a protest sign too that says, "Dear Trump, destroy America, love Putin." And so I don't know. I don't know why I think everybody sees it, because it's obvious they're trying to destroy this entire country. It's obvious that they're not working for America, right?
Well, true, but there even in his first administration, there was stuff that was just utter disregard for any kind of care about what other intelligence could pick up.
Right.
So.
And right after Inauguration Day in 2017, days later, he invited Lavrov and the other one, is it Kismark? I can never pronounce it.
That were under sanctions.
So they came in, right? And he gave them what they wanted. That was days after the first time around.
Yep.
In 2017. Yep. So, and then I knew about all the MAGAs that went to the Kremlin on the 4th of July in 2018. So I don't know. I guess that's why I've been going around going, of course they're trying to destroy America. Why wouldn't they? We're the jewel in the crown. I mean, we have been coveted after by all the enemies for decades now. They want to take down America. I want to go back to what you were saying about them going after the money, because I did a psychic reporter, what I call it now, video last night, and I started to ask about Drumpf. I'm calling him just Drumpf now. The Drumpf family, and all of a sudden I got this like, oh my gosh, the kids are so confused. You know, Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka, they're like, I don't know. I felt like they had this deer in the headlights kind of thing. Like they couldn't compute what was happening. And all I could get from it was that all of a sudden, this money that they thought was just like, they were all set, they were going to have billions for life, was suddenly at risk, right? I heard before or after that, I heard about Iran hitting Dubai and Qatar and the Saudi Arabia too?
United Arab Emirate.
Okay, so I heard about that. So then I put it together in my head, although I don't know the specifics. It feels like it's going to whoop them upside the head, that all this billions that they thought was theirs will no longer be theirs. So then, you know, when the strikes hit those very wealthy areas, I also had been talking about on New Year's Eve, I talked about this on my Substack Live. I don't know if you watch the fireworks from around the world. You can kind of see how each country is doing. It's an amazing thing to watch. So you can go to YouTube and you can Google fireworks around the world, New Year's 2026. And when you see the display in Qatar and Dubai and the UAE, you cannot believe it. It was like they were going, we have the most money on the planet and there's nobody's going to surpass this. It was unbelievable. You could really tell which countries were doing well by their firework display. Australia's was amazing too. So I like to watch the fireworks displays on New Year's Eve. But it really struck me. I'm going to find that. I'm going to post it because it was all AI. You know, they're making these big these big giant animals in the sky and everything. But the one in Dubai, I think it was like over the top. So that you're mentioning that Iran is now bombing the money centers. Dubai is like, it's all money, right? This is all big oil money. And speaking of oil, that Strait of what is the Strait of what? I don't know. Is
it Hormuz?
It's not Hamas.
No, Hormuz or something.
Yeah,
I think is what it is.
That strait now we get some of that oil and gas, and now I think that the LNG is one of the tankers, and we get a lot from there. So I don't know how much it's going to raise our gas and oil prices, but I watch the way that the universe works, and it's almost like this is going to force us into green energy. Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. Thank you.
Hormuz.
This is gonna force us into some kind of alternative form of energy because we can't just not have heat. And I don't think Trump is going to be there for much longer. I don't know if that's just wishful thinking.
No.
I
don't think it's wishful thinking in the slightest. I don't think it is in the slightest. No. Mm-mm.
So, do you see an attack on Trump? I do remember. I did recently remember too that Iran wants him gone. They want to off him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting because the billionaire reign internationally it's just destroying the planet. It's destroying everything.
What's mind-boggling is the lack of strategy in what we're doing. It is, yes, they slowly moved all of those warships into the Gulf, but there's no plan.
No, it's breathtakingly ineptness. Like fifth graders could put together a plan. You know, they're just abjectly just talk about low IQ that Trump likes to say all the time. They're abjectly idiotic. And I just think it's interesting that what are the odds that we'd have this level of idiocy? Did you ever see Idiocracy, that comedy movie? All right, I'm gonna make you watch that.
We're
The
living it.
fireworks
Why do I have to watch it?
The international, because it's really hilarious. The international fireworks show and Idiocracy. It is a funny movie, but it might not be funny because it's realistic. It was made like 20 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder if we're going to make it through. I think we are, but when I say make it through, I mean I'm really concerned about all these weapons that we have at the ready, and it seems to me that people in general that haven't seen war think about it as, I mean, I haven't seen war. I'm sure I think about it this way too, as just something, you know, like if you were playing a computer game or something, right?
Don't think that the rise of Worlds of Warcraft and that kind of thing hasn't had that as part of why it's there, because there are generations of people who've been conditioned to just shoot, and not even think, oh, I'm hitting a person.
And I actually think that that's tied to at least some of the mass shootings that we see, because I saw one of those games one time. Just, I think it was an advertisement, and there was a person, you know, a cartoon like on the game, and he was in an office setting, going around the corners of the office past the cubicles in this cartoon game, shooting people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's part of it. But we have really been desensitized to what it actually is to be in a war. Not only desensitized, but since we haven't been in an actual war, I mean, I see Keg's breath like, oh, we're going to get him. Like, he's never been in a war. I know he was in the military for a while, but he was not in the front lines. And I think, and JD was in the military in some kind of, I don't know, clerical capacity role. Have you looked at his chart lately? No.
The eclipse hit him much. The solar eclipse hit him much the same way that it hit Trump.
We did
but so just to jump ahead a little bit, things are going to be vastly different in the summer. Vastly different. We'll be wiring ourselves for a new way of being, and that's not Mad Max stuff. It'll be different. So I don't see this lasting. I'll be surprised if it's still going on in the summer. I'll be surprised if it's still going on after April.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it'll end before then.
I got that in 2 months. I channeled my dad. You do that too, right?
I scream at my father. I don't channel him. No.
Yesterday was his birthday. He would have been 92. So I was doing my video last night, and I was like, oh, let me just ask my dad. And that's how I kind of tuned in, and he said, in 2 months, everything's going to be different.
Yep, everything will be different. Mm-hmm.
Everything will be different. So if you have loved ones on the other side and you want to practice your psychic impression ability, they do help. They do help us. And he's always said that it's the people that are going to turn this around. Because our people in Congress are not doing it. I mean, I called today. I called a few. I'll call every day this week. This is, you know, the war powers need to be reined in. This is a complete violation of our Constitution. Why didn't they do something today? Like, Sunday wouldn't have been soon enough, right? Like, over the weekend, something should have been done. They had to, we'll wait till the weekend and we'll go in on Monday and see what this is like an emergency.
Well, one has to wonder who else hasn't had his name revealed yet out of the data dumps. Okay, I would expect that there are more people in Congress who are compromised than we've had hinted at.
And you mean compromised with
in the files
and other things too?
Well, yes, other things, but it behooves a lot of people to not push forward on that revelation. And so I suspect that is one of the big things that's going to start coming from other countries, because again, what do they have to lose at this point? It can only get worse.
That's true. That's true.
And you can take pretty much everything that Trump has been saying about, I said his name, about regime change and the need to liberate these people, and you go, just look in the mirror, buddy.
Everything
Like the
he
rest of the
says,
world is saying that for us.
everything he says is projection. I can't think of anything he says that isn't it's negative, that isn't projection. It's bizarro. Yeah, regime change, please. We'll take that. I'm still stuck on that. We call our government. Well, it's not really government. We've called them the regime since the beginning of the term.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So we the people will turn it around. I do feel like by July we will be in a different place, and I think I've asked you before what it looks like astrologically on July 4th of our 250th.
You don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, well, actually, now that I'm saying it, I feel like we're going to celebrate our country's anniversary later. Like celebrating somebody's birthday, like the next month or like that. What now that you said that, people are like, what is it? Tell us.
It's a very explosive day. It's a very explosive day.
Explosive could mean many things.
It could.
So
I don't know what it's going to mean, but it's not like it's been obvious. We're not going to just wake up and, oh, well, it's sorted. No, it is not sorted yet. No, but
so we have to keep going.
You have to keep going. Yep.
We have to keep going no matter how we're feeling. So the 4th of July this year, he's planning. I don't think he'll still be there.
He won't be there. He won't be there.
No.
He won't be there.
No. You seem very sure about that. I feel sure about it. Let me ask my pendulum. Do you have any questions for my pendulum about that?
Will we have a provisional government on July 4th?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, I want to say too that when I asked that question, I was like, Dad, what do you? It gave me this vision of emerging from the rubble. And I was careful to say, this is my video I made last night. I was careful to say, that doesn't mean we've been bombed, but it's the feeling of like, you're in a hole or something, you're emerging from the rubble, like, whoa, okay, we got a lot of work to do. That kind of a feeling.
Mm-hmm. That would fit.
So will we be, what did you call it?
Will we have a provisional government?
Government and
on July 4th.
Yeah. That's very, very definite. When you work with the pendulum, sometimes it's like, oh, a little weak. That's a big, strong yes. I'm saying Kamala. Why aren't Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer standing up and fighting for us? Seriously compromised.
APAC money.
Yeah, and I hadn't realized it till now, till more is coming out, and I'm getting stronger impressions about it. But I've been wanting to shake them. And Schumer, do you remember that was it the Al Smith, the Catholic dinner, that charity dinner that they have? That was like, how many years ago was that?
I can't keep track.
And I went all ballistic. I was like, fuck the Catholic Church. One of my viewers got so mad at me, but I was so mad because Schumer was there. It was during the campaign. And Trump got up and I don't know, he's always doing something really illegal and horrible and being insulting. That's what he does. And Schumer was laughing along with him and I'm like, who are you? What team are you on, dude? And ever since that day, I've never trusted Chuck Schumer. I don't know what happened to him, but these people are bought and paid for. But I kind of got into trouble with my viewers because you know me, I just run my mouth. I have my Sinead O'Connor.
Well, there's conversation going on in the chat about the APAC Democrats. They killed the most qualified. Oops, I'm going to get shit for that. Candidate in the race in my district in the special election. He's been in Congress. He was favored to win. He had a huge lead, and they put millions into a smear campaign, and he lost by like 800 votes.
So what's APX stand for? I'm not up to snuff on that.
American Israel, is it Political Action Committee? I'm not sure, but it's pro-Israel money.
Oh, okay. So that's going to change. Now that you said that, that's going to change.
And just so people are clear, I'm not anti-Israel. I've got relatives living in a bomb shelter at this moment while we're talking. But I'm anti-IDF. I'm anti whatever the government is doing, and I'm anti them controlling our foreign policy.
We're anti-genocide, okay?
There we go.
Got nothing to do with whether people are Jewish or in Israel. You know, we're anti-crimes against humanity. I think we need to, like, as a general statement, I think we all need to just view what's going on as humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just getting away from this, you know, oh, but Israel. No, this is about Bibi. This is about him being a war criminal. You know, and what's going on with Putin is it's the Russian people are fine. Putin he's the war criminal. And same here. I hope that people around the world are viewing it this way, although we're all in America like, oh, we voted for him, right? It's always been like, this is the people's voice, produce this. The people's vote produce this. So as long as other countries are aware that Russia has been meddling since, 2015, then I think other countries know what's going on too. So it's not the people or the country itself. It's these bad apples, to put it very mildly, because I could call them a whole lot of other things.
Some animals are more equal than other animals.
Right.
To quote Animal Farm.
Right. I should read that again.
So I'll just throw this out there. What the word I've been using lately is parasites. Okay. There's a small cadre of parasites living off all of the rest of us. I mean, has anyone ever worked in a company where you got stuff done despite what management was doing? Where the workers made things happen despite what management was doing. This I see this on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
And this is my little soapbox. And I've always felt, and yes, I have Venus in Pisces, so I have this weird thing about everybody should have, but I've always felt that if you're part of a system that makes your advancement possible, A, you are not a self-made man. I am sorry. You had the assistance of the system and many, many other people. And B, don't you owe something back to the system? Maybe, but that's me. Okay, I don't normally get on a soapbox, but that is mine.
And two, when I look at what's going on in this country and I see the states that really have been able to do it, the states that actually contribute to the lower income states, like, I can foresee a whole time where there's this attitudinal shift where, like, say, we've talked about this before, I think, say in your state, right? Mikey Sherrill, she's got it together. She can handle that entire state like it's its own country, right?
She's doing that.
Massachusetts the same way, other states, California definitely, just to name a few. So there was a time ago, I have an astrologer friend in Nashville, and several years ago, she just mentioned kind of off the cuff, I don't know what's coming with Pluto and Aquarius. I don't know if it was specifically that, but it could be that the United States is just all like separate states.
I honestly don't. There are people who see it splitting 4 ways, 5 ways. I honestly don't see that happening, but we could have different agreements. We could have different arrangements among the states.
Yeah, that's probably what
And there are states that have been making coalitions about how they're going to deal with certain health issues, and making their own economic deals with other countries.
Right. Yeah. That's going to happen more and more, I think, because we have to survive. I mean, when there's a reckless person driving the bus and we're all in the bus, aren't we going to, like, push them out of the way and jump into the driver's seat? We're definitely getting to that point. And this war that he started, I mean, what I was saying earlier about all this, like we don't have an idea about what being in a war is, but now that we're facing the reality that we're in a war, and it's because these effing idiots are at the helm. It's like, are we really just going to go by the rules right now? Like, I just called a couple of representatives' offices and said, this is like, we can't just let them run us, like, we can't let them destroy us like this. What are we doing? Why are we going, oh, well, we have to rein in his war powers, right? Like, is that really what we have to wait until we do? Or do we have to do something that's more like emergency, hit the alarm, emergency, 911? I think we're really in that moment of, we have no national security right now, and now we're going to have barely any military if this keeps up too much longer. We have no allies. Who do we have? Trying to think. Oh, this is a scary moment. I'm trying to think of who our allies are.
Well, Trump has all these guys that he took money from. Oops, did I say that?
We have no allies. Oh, I just had one of those moments. Who's going to help us? This is too much. All right, I should probably, maybe pull some cards or something. Should I? Has it hit anybody? Is it just like the full moon just illuminated me? Like, we have no allies. I guess I've just been counting on what I was saying, like that most other nations' leaders, especially in NATO, know that this is what Putin did to the United States. No, we don't. We're all waking up to it. We don't have any allies. So if we were going to move or travel, I'm not sure how we would be received. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit before we go talk about Wag the Dog. I didn't see that movie, but I've heard the term.
Well, don't you think there's a big piece of that in this?
I think it's all that, which is just, it's crazy.
I think he is benefiting. He's doing something for people who have given him things.
Yeah, this is true.
Because the people that would like Iran to be less powerful have all given him things.
Yeah, it's true. And before this happened on Saturday night, we were really talking a lot about the Epstein files, and we were really talking a lot about the need to do something about ICE and DHS, right?
Mm-hmm. And so now the conversation is, we need all the money for the military. You can't stall DHS payments.
Yeah, I talked about that. I ranted about that yesterday. Like, did you hear, like, I played what Chris Murphy said about that in response to that question on Face the Nation. Like, okay, we're going to give them more money so that they can tear gas school children and kill American citizens. But that conversation has just come to a halt about ICE and DHS and what they're doing. And I'm not sure when that question comes back up, when they're supposed to vote on that again. Because I guess apparently they're supposed to get $38 billion more. They're asking for DHS.
I know, but from what? What is not going to get paid for?
Anything to do with helping the American people, unless you're talking about something specific.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything like I think that people are getting it now. The MAGAs are waking up because it takes a shock to wake people out of a cult. Yeah. We have no allies, and we have no funding. We're heading into tornado season. I don't mean to scare everybody, but from my perspective, the only way out is through, and the only way to like really feel empowered is to go to your spiritual, whatever you do, whatever your source is, because we're going to have to pray our heads off or intend our heads off or both, because this is like otherworldly. We need otherworldly help. And I feel like we have cosmic help, and I always do say that. but we have to kind of appeal to it. And, you know, I think that when we're working hard to save our country, that forces on the other side help. I feel like George Washington's spirit is present with us, and what they all did when they built the Capitol, just with the sacred geometry and all that. I don't think we're going to be destroyed completely, but we'll be destroyed quite a bit. So I'm trying to say something hopeful.
Well, we're not the caretaker or the bully of the planet anymore.
That shifted. Yeah, so what I like to say is there's one solution and one solution only, and it's to oust the regime. So lately I've been thinking about how much he's pissing off our military, not that they're supposed to act on emotions, but I'm wondering, I mean...
There's your question.
I mean, is that my psychic question?
Yeah, that's your question.
I'm wondering if the military is going to arrest him. That just feels good to just say it.
Doesn't it?
Okay. You know what? I did ask about this, not on screen, not in a video, and I got a yes. And actually, now that we're here, and it wasn't even 2 days, and 4 soldiers were killed. I felt so emotional about that yesterday. It's so hard. And more injured, and we don't really have we don't have a magnifying glass on what's going on, because I've noticed that I've been looking for news about what's happening now in Iran. It just seems like it's hard to get information. With the soldiers coming back in coffins, I'm not so sure that we're going to get all that. How are we going to know for sure if they're giving us the right numbers? They'll probably hide that stuff. But it's up to our military to do something. It's really to that point, because we have no justice system. So, and I don't know who is in the military that you know, it's not like we have a whole new Pentagon staff. They fired a lot of people, but some are still there, I would think. I mean, it's just, of course they're still there. There has to be some semblance of law and order somewhere. Should I ask?
Yes, but all that Aries pile up in
Yeah.
April could be consistent with
A military. I don't know if you call it a coup, but at least arrest them. The crimes against this country are just mind-boggling. It's just every day. Another crime, another crime, another crime, gutting our Constitution, pretending that we don't exist, basically, and treating our military like they're just like little pawns. Remember those little plastic green soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting. So what can we say hopeful before we go? I'm doing a bad job.
Everyone's pilot light is going to flare in about 5 days.
Well,
and it'll stay like for the rest of the month. Venus will be in Aries for the rest of the month, and we will all just be kind of like rampaging, but with wisdom and guidance. So this isn't people running in the streets and throwing bricks in the windows. This is not rioting. This is very wise, guided action.
Yeah, it does call for that too. I mean, this is not a like knee jerk, just like the way the Trump operates is very impulsive. It's always been that way with him. He doesn't think things through at all. He doesn't have a plan for what he's done. I think we gain a lot of power when we just get quiet. I know that. We just get quiet and we listen to the higher power, whatever it is. So Sage is saying, damn, my energy is so heightened. Yeah. Oh, it's a full moon. The blood moon, calling it a blood moon is because of some kind of, I don't know, gases or something. Do you know? Thank you for putting my info up, Zircon.
Yeah, no, I am not the one to explain that.
I think it's the the gases in the air at that time. I'll look that up. I'll share it with you later. We have, here's my positive thing to say. We have not come together as humans in a very long time. And that is what's starting to happen. And we don't really have a frame of reference for what happens when we all get together as one humanity, physically in person. And what I was saying about what we're going through right now is the Vietnam War was ended by all the protests. And so that's what I've heard from people that protested during those times, that's what ended the war, the public pressure. And we can end this with public pressure.
Someone asked, could I repeat what I said about the timing of the astrological pilot light later this week? On the 6th, Venus enters the sign of Aries. Venus enters warrior goddess mode, and everyone will feel this. And she'll be in that sign until the end of the month. And then everybody else goes into Aries. So she's there as like she's the advance guard.
The trailer. The preview.
No, she's the scout.
Scouts it out first.
Now I do have, okay, so here's one thing I can tell people. Now I have a whole bunch of short resources and an action you can take playlist at Professional Aquarian YouTube channel. They're like 5 to 7 minutes of various things you can do. Next Tuesday, not tomorrow, Tuesday the 10th, I'm having a kind of emergency intervention, take back your energy session for a little over an hour. And I will guide people through this because sometimes they just like to hear it directly from the person. And we'll be really, safe and calming place. And we'll walk through a bunch of things to clean this out of your energy field and get you recharged. Yeah. And there is there's information about this. There's a post on my YouTube channel that has my schedule. It's on there. It's also, if you go to empowermentunlimited.net, there is very close to the top of the site a big orange stripe, and there's a link to it through there.
Great. Yeah, because we need ways to cope. Do you have anything to say about people personally with this full moon?
This is a time, I mean, it's redrawing lines and making healthy choices and saying, I don't need to do this anymore, and just separating yourself out from stuff that has been just waterlogging. There's a lot of endings, and they're like redrawing the lines of demarcation between you and other people's stuff.
Great. Yeah. Getting stuff done, throwing stuff out too, physically. Eclipses are big shifts. So things will not be the way that they've been. And so that's up to interpretation, right? To some people, things will not be the way that they've been. It's like, thank God, right? And to some other people, it's really scary. So,
well, the world, look, the last few years, since 2020, maybe even a little earlier, reality hasn't matched what we grew up in.
No way.
And it's becoming clear, okay, we're not going to go back to what things were like. So now we are coming up with different ways of being in the world. And this has a personal benefit. I mean, it's a little weird, but if the rules that you grew up with aren't running things anymore, then that means the limitations that you grew up with in terms of how you had to be are also gone, and you can go make up your own way of being. And I don't think any of you out there are going to do things that will just hurt other people. I am not suggesting that, but why not go ahead and live your life the way you feel like you should live it? This is the time to do that. So it's weirdly freeing, and everything gets rewired drastically in July in a way that is incredibly energizing.
That's good. So maybe the 4th of July will be explosive in a good way.
Well, the month after the rest of the month is
it's rough. Well, we're rearranging the pieces. So I like that. Make new rules. And on the personal and then on the collective, we're going to write a new constitution. that is really by the people and for the people, and that's updated. We need an upgrade.
So look at what I'm seeing in here is about badass feminine energy. This is why I put in the comments way early on, the goddess is back and she's pissed.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, no.
Well-behaved women rarely make history.
We're making a lot of history. It is Women's History Month.
That's right. That's right. And March 8th is International Women's Day. March 6th is my mom's birthday. Yeah, she has that Venus Aries kind of thing. That's why I'm so feisty. So I appreciate you so much, and thank you for your daily forecast that I read it off the ledge every day. They're so helpful. Sometimes they're so uncannily spot on. Like I'll be doing something in the morning, and then I'll hear your daily forecast, and I'll go, "That's exactly what I was thinking, what I was doing." So excellent. So tune into Off the Ledge, everyone. Visit at Professional Aquarian or EmpowermentUnlimited.net to book a reading with Kathy. PsychicAnnetteDion.com to book a reading with me. And yeah, enjoy and keep positive thoughts in your mind. And I just want you to know, I always feel better after our shows. And I know I'm not the only one. All right. We good?
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Thank you. Namaste. See ya.